Before I get started with this story, let me give a shout out to Tawana Cook for posting it in here in the Discord chat. Now, some of y'all will not be too familiar with the story that I'm getting ready to talk about, but this is actually an update to a story that I did on my channel, like, maybe well over a year ago. And when I saw the picture that came with the article, something triggered in my memory, and I said, wait a minute, the picture that's associated with this story on this article that I'm about to read looks very familiar, because was looking at my analytics for some of my most watched videos of the year, and I went to my analytics for my channel, and sure enough, I did a video about this incident that's leading up to what I'm about to talk about today. Same exact story, because I was looking at the picture and I said it looks vaguely familiar. So basically, this story came out of California, where you had this cop whose name is Matthew Dages had apprehended this guy by the name of Amaurie Johnson. And basically, there was video evidence, like it was a recording and everything like that of the altercation or the interaction with these two. And this guy, Matthew Dages, was blatantly lying on camera in a police report. Like, he was falsifying a police report, because that's what got him fired from the department in which he was working for. Throw all of that out the window, because this guy was found not guilty on pretty much every charge, even though it showed on camera that he was lying about the reasonings of apprehending or arresting this black man by the name of Amaurie Johnson on camera. So when people say that, oh, there's video evidence, we have it on video, take a page from this story here. That does not matter. That does not apply. It doesn't mean anything. This guy basically was able to walk away after he lied about arresting this black man on camera. Nothing's going to happen to him. I wouldn't be surprised if they give him his job back. And because he got found not guilty, he might actually sue them for quote unquote pain and suffering that he quote unquote faced. This guy filed a whole lie of a police report on a black man. It was proven on video. Like, literally on video, you could actually see that this guy was lying through his teeth on every single thing that he was doing to try to get this black man, Amaurie Johnson, caught up and hemmed up. And after all of that, with all that evidence, the jury found him not guilty. This guy was found not guilty for lying on a black man, and they had evidence to show that he did. It's not like it was hearsay. It's not like it was speculation. He actually did it, and he still was found not guilty. Because remember, with Rodney King, his was caught on video too, of him being beat by multiple cops, and all of them were found not guilty. So I don't know why people will be surprised that this guy's found not guilty. Like, don't be surprised and shocked. Now let me go ahead and get into this article. I just wanted to give y'all that overview, because like I said, some of you probably don't remember this story, but I remember. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to post the link to my original commentary about this and pin it in the comments below so you can actually listen to it for yourself. An El Cajon jury acquitted a former La Mesa police officer of charges that he filed a false report after a controversial arrest of a young black man in 2020. The jury deliberated only one day before returning with the not guilty verdict on Friday, December 10th. While the ex-cop's lawyer said that he is feeling relief, the San Diego NAACP is feeling something completely different, and that's disappointment. The civil rights organization released a statement on its website expressing the displeasure over the verdict. It read part, the NAACP San Diego branch is disappointed with the not guilty verdict returned by the jury in the case of former La Mesa police officer Matthew Dages. The branch believes there are more than enough evidence to convict this former police officer. The justice system failed in this case. Signed by the chapter's first vice president, Brian Bonner, the note focused on the viral video that showed Dages harassing Amaurie Johnson while he waited for his friends in front of their apartment building. After a video of a violent arrest of a young black male by a La Mesa police officer became public protests, a review by the La Mesa Police Department and the San Diego County District Attorney led to charges against former police officer Matthew Dages for lying on his arrest report. The organization also maintains that the lack of diversity of the jury played a major part in the outcome of the case. In spite of the strong evidence presented by the district attorney, this jury, which, as we previously noted, lacked diversity and perhaps even interest in this case, returned a not guilty verdict. Let me just say this. This jury could have been diverse and they could have still came up with the same outcome. So that doesn't always necessarily mean anything. It would look like it would help, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything. While we respect and have confidence in the jury system as a whole, the NAACP after that you shouldn't. The NAACP San Diego branch strongly disagrees with this not guilty verdict. This case demonstrates that the fight for justice must continue. The NAACP isn't the only organization that takes issue with the decision. Yusef Miller of the Racial Justice Coalition balked at the acquittal. It's obvious that this man, Amaurie Johnson, was innocent of any crime, any violation, was targeted, and that's what started this thing snowballing out of control, said Miller. On May 27, 2020, the then 23-year-old Johnson was approached by Dages, who was serving on a fair compliance operation for the department. Though the assignment required him to check to see if people had the correct fare to ride the trolley, he approached the young man who was across the street from the Grossmont Transit Center in front of the apartments. The officer accused Johnson of smoking, even though he was not. He was talking on his cell phone. Police reports would later confirm that Johnson had no smoking paraphernalia on his person and that Dages was mistaken. The incident, captured by several cameras, escalated quickly, eventually leading to Johnson being arrested. Johnson was not charged for smoking in a no-smoking zone. He was arrested for assaulting an officer and resisting arrest. Now, see, when you read that basically they're trying to throw it back into the court of Amaurie Johnson. So they would rather find this guy not guilty for falsifying a report. But if they could have found Amaurie Johnson guilty of anything, had he been on trial, it would have been for that. Because apparently resisting arrest is way worse than lying on a police report. He was later fired for misrepresenting the facts of the arrest. The now retired police chief Walt Vasquez, who terminated Dages, says that his report of the incident reflected racial bias and that he believed the officer profiled Johnson because he was black. Misrepresenting the facts in a report as an officer is a crime under the California Penal Code 118.1, and Dages faced up to 3 years in prison had he been convicted. His acquittal freed him of this possibility. I think our client is relieved. Dages' attorney Joshua Visco shared, it's been a very, very long journey for him and his family and his supporters, of which he has a lot. I bet he does. Visco further stated that he believed that his client was a victim of quote-unquote political prosecution. He stated, a not guilty verdict shows that the DA should have never prosecuted this case in the first place. Of course they say that. See, like I told you, camera or not, this shows you right here that they'll still get away with anything. That's why I said these cameras or anything don't matter. And this wasn't a body camera. This was camera footage that somebody recorded and they posted on the internet and it went viral. Which means if there was nobody there, we wouldn't have known what would happen. And this could have went down a whole lot worse than what it did. San Diego County District Attorney Summer Stephen disagrees, standing firm on the American principle of due process. While I respect the jury's verdict, I remain proud that my team courageously fought for justice without prejudice against or favor towards anyone, he said in a statement. The integrity of our criminal justice system depends on police officers filing truthful police reports, and our thorough review of the facts and evidence led us to bring the charge and present the case to the jury. He concluded, the community can take comfort in knowing that the vast majority of police officers in our county serve with honor and uphold the law while doing the difficult job of keeping our communities safe. And that's the entire article right there. Listen, they can say all of that fluff at the end as long as they want to, but as long as you have someone like that walking around, where's the trust? And then they want to act so surprised when black people do not have a trust for these departments and the people who are in them and run them. Like, they literally had this on video. Like I said, I'm gonna link my original post that I did on this video well over a year ago. Some of y'all weren't even subscribed to me at that time, and I know many of you weren't, because I didn't have this many subscribers at the time when I made that video. I probably had about I probably wasn't even at 30,000 subscribers when I made this video, or maybe I was a little bit over it. So that shows you how a while ago that was. But when I saw that picture for this article, I said, I know I talked about this, and I immediately ran and looked and saw, and sure enough, it was there. And it was one of my most watched videos of the last year. Like, that video, I'm gonna be honest, kind of went viral along with this one, because I was one of the few people that talked about that story when it came out. It was so quiet that I forgot that it happened in May. This happened back in May of last year, literally right before George Floyd. I'm amazed that it got that much traction, considering what happened like a couple days later. But that's why, we just have to stay on top of it, because, mainstream media, they going to be quiet about it. But like I said, I'm not surprised about this outcome at all. That's why I say, camera or not, it does not matter what it is. If they are going to find them not guilty of something, that's just what it's going to be. And in this case, that's what it is.